Court Captive by J.S. Read by J.S. Tristan's Path, Chapter 2. Trash. Amery. I'm caught, alone in an alleyway with Tristan Hodgson and his gang. For a minute I feared the worst, but it seems Tristan has no interest in my body. Instead, his attention is fixated on something else completely. Get her guitar. I watch as the other gangsters fumble with the buckles on my guitar case, a sick feeling in my stomach. One of them pulls it out and hands it to Tristan. He smirks as he handles it, and pulls a hand across the strings, playing that messy, almost E minor chord. I know your type. Music is everything to you, isn't it? His voice mocks me. The air you breathe. So what will you do when it's suddenly taken from you? I blink at him as the seconds go by, and I realize he's expecting an answer. You'll choke, he answers for me when I hesitate too long. You'll suffocate and die by the wayside. Even if your body's still alive, the rest of you won't be. Isn't that right? Is it? I echo him, frightened out of my wits, hardly understanding a word he's saying. Without warning, Tristan lifts my guitar by the neck and smashes the body into the wall over my head. I scream as splinters shower me and the strings spring loose. One of them catches my hair, and another curls back to lacerate Tristan's pristine, doll-like cheek. The blood is brilliant against his snow-white skin. His eyes are wide as though in shock, and he drops what remains of my guitar to the snowy ground. He stomps it furiously, snapping the neck, crushing the body over and over. Then he turns those wild eyes to me, and he throws off the two that were holding me. I scream as his fist slams into the wall beside my head, and his face comes within an inch of mine. Despair. Tristan seems affected somehow, upset. I said despair! What's going on? Did I not react the way he wanted me to? I try to answer him, but though my mouth moves, no words come out. Stupid woman! Tristan's hand falls heavily, shoving me to the ground. I fall with a cry, and my hand touches my mangled instrument. Get out of here, all of you! He screams suddenly, and the others skulk off, looking over their shoulders in curiosity for what he'll do next. Tell me you hate me. He goes down on his knees in the slush, and he grabs a fistful of my hair with his hand, gripping me painfully. His amethyst eyes are wide, and the blood from his cut slowly paints the side of his neck. Tell me I'm a monster, that you'll never forgive me. I'm so scared and confused. It's all I can do to answer. For this? I lift a piece of my guitar. That's right. I don't hate you. His grip tightens on my hair so that I cry out in pain. But if I hurt you, you'll hate me. I don't know why. I don't know why he'd ask me something like this, and I don't know why it is. When I look into those eyes, I cannot summon the emotion of hatred. Instead, somehow I feel only unspeakable sadness. I don't hate you, Tristan. I hate you! He screams in fury, and I can only wince. What the hell? He says, and he releases me suddenly. He's holding his head like it's about to explode. What the hell? He repeats, and I think he'll cry. I watch him, not daring to move. Then he speaks suddenly. Go. Get out of here. Even if he says that, it's not like my legs will suddenly obey and hold me up. And besides, he looks like he's hurt badly. Are you okay? I ask tentatively. He glances up at me through his hands, and one eye meets mine. Are you insane? Why would you ask that in this situation? Go, he says again. I don't know what those guys will do to you if they come back. Those words give me the motivation needed to bring me back to my feet. Meanwhile, Tristan remains on the ground. I don't know why I should be, but I feel emboldened somehow, and I speak. You shouldn't live like this, Tristan. And how should I live? He challenges me. Happily. Doing what you love most. You don't know a damned thing about me. I know you're better than this, I retort, and he swears at me. Don't make me regret letting you go, he glares, and I'm quick to pick up my feet. I run home, looking after me every few seconds to make sure I'm not being followed. At last I arrive, and I let myself into my dark, freezing apartment and bolt the door behind me. For good measure, I even move the dresser against the door. Teeth chattering, I change out of my slush-sodden clothes and make up the hearth fire, When it's blazing, I bring all the blankets from my bed and make myself a cocoon on the floor just before it. The heat blasts my face, and slowly the rest of me warms to match. Only then, when my teeth have stopped chattering, do I cry, though I do not know why. For my harrowing experience or my narrow escape, for my smashed guitar or all my plans for the future that have been so abruptly and senselessly pushed back a year or more? Or do I cry for something else? Someone else? I don't know, but I cry for a long time, long after the sun has set and the fire has died down again. I cry and I slump, and eventually I sleep, and dream of scrubbing floors at Hodgson's estate under the critical eye of my employer's son. Tristan. The guys meet up with me after I let the musician go, but I send them back to the estate, not in the mood for our usual bullshit. I trudge aimlessly through the city in brooding silence, hands buried deep in my pockets, cigarette dangling from my lips. What was it I'd expected from that woman? More pleading for her precious guitar, tears of despair as she clung to the pieces. Why? Eventually I start for home, laboring over these questions as a nearly full moon breaks through the clouds and turns the snowy vista before me bright as day. It doesn't take me long to find the answer, because I wanted to see it played out again before my eyes, from the other side. I wanted to feel what my father felt the day he took my music from me. I wanted the satisfaction of crushing someone else's dream. I wanted to hurt her, as I'd once been hurt. I wanted to watch helplessness and despair settle over her as all the light went out of her eyes. But that woman didn't react the way I expected her to. She was frightened, but not devastated. Her lack of response left me reeling. Didn't it hurt when I did that to her? More than any blow I could have given her, more than broken bones. Didn't she feel the pain of her very soul being crushed? In an inexplicably foul mood, I slip back into the estate just as supper is being served to the disciples in the kitchen. I skip it and make for my room, but on the way I'm stopped by my father and his favorite, Knight Commander Artair Kane. The general has questions about where I got the cut on my cheek and the bruises from yesterday, and I give my usual excuse. Sparring got a little rough. He and Artair exchange glances. Kane tells me you've been skipping out on sparring, and on a good deal of your training. I've been running errands in town. I start to push past them, but Father catches my shoulder in a crippling grip. Damn it. I'll never understand how a septuagenarian can be this strong. What errands? Father's voice is cold. Assaulting young women, I retort sarcastically, and I shake him off. I'm tired. Spare me the interrogation, old man. A hand falls on the back of my neck. Artair hauls me back and throws me against the wall. My head slams hard. I push myself off, prepared to ignore it, but he throws me again, this time to the floor, and I feel a splitting headache start. What the hell is your problem? I scream, maddened by my own powerlessness. You'll sit there and hear what the general has to say. Why do I have to? I never asked to be one of his damn soldiers. You are his son, Artair says gravely. You owe him more respect than any of us. Instead, you bring him only dishonor. What are you talking about? One of your little gangster cronies confessed to what you've been up to in town, before I expelled them all, says the general darkly. Knights of the Silver Heel. Does your mockery know no limits? That, I sigh, that's nothing. Just some guys fooling around. We're not really a gang. If you let me explain. I start to rise, but at a nod from my father, Artair meets me with a wooden sword and beats me back to the ground. I'm furious, seething. I look up at my father's grim face and I scream and I curse. You damned old man! How can you let him do this to your only son? You're no son of mine, he thunders. And in the other room I hear the noise from dinner die down so everyone can hear his next words. You're no more than a common thug. Artair is more of a son to me than you ever were. I'm breathing heavily through my teeth, blood running from my lip. I want to kill them both, but I'm no match for Artair and he knows it. Even if he weren't here, there's no fight I could start within my father's walls that I could ever win. Not with so many of his disciples in the next room. I don't know what you mean, father. Sarcasm is my last weapon. I am only what you made me. If you wanted a son like Artair, perhaps you should have raised me differently. Quit pushing all the blame to me. You were bad from the beginning. Rebellious and good for nothing. Was I? I'm seething in my hatred and my fury, but I'm also hurting deep down, in a place I refuse to let him see. Was I just trash all along? That's right, he says, and he kicks at me. But even grounded, I'm too quick to be caught by that boot. I may not be a match for our tear, but I am no longer some kid the General can knock around whenever he likes. I smirk at his annoyance, and he gives a mighty huff of irritation. You're a disgrace. I want you out of my house this instant. You could come back when you're willing to do things my way. Then take a good look, Father, I say, and I struggle to my feet, because you won't be seeing me again. I leave the General's house with nothing but the clothes on my back, having no real destination in mind. My body aches in too many places to count. Blood freezes in patches on my dark clothing. The bare winter sky leaves the land bitterly cold, and I pull my hood closer around my face. My mind is numb. My feet take me back to Moonguard. I reach in my pocket for a cigarette, but I lost the box somewhere in the scuffle with our tear. I'd buy more, but I didn't bring a single coin with me. Dejected, I wander the empty streets late into the night. Weariness plagues me. I know eventually I'll have to find a place to sleep, but I can't make myself stop moving. If I stop, I may start to think, and I'm not ready to do that yet. It's past 2 a.m. when I run into the replica gang. Recognizing me, they fan out, chuckling and waving their makeshift weapons. They owe me one for their buddies the other night, they say. I'm about to pay dearly. I should be afraid for my life, but in truth I welcome their arrival. It gives me something to do. Somehow managing to rip a 2x4 from one of my opponent's hands, I fight like hell, busting teeth and splitting heads. I take as many with me as I can before I finally fall. They beat me senseless. I don't know what's broken. I don't even know what hurts anymore. Everything is numb. There is red in my eyes, red in the snow, and my vision fades to black. I guess I'll die here. There's nothing left for me to do anyway. Nowhere left to go. No one left who wants me. I'll just die here and go to be with my mom. But she's in heaven, I think, with the last of my consciousness. And lost boys like me can only go to hell. I hear sound like metal slamming metal with violent repetition, or maybe I just feel it in my body. There is color, light, but it means nothing. Words mean nothing. I am nothing. A drifting no one. Floating. Flying. Then I am hot. Suffocating. I wake in a steaming hot room beneath a mountain of blankets. I smell the smoke of a cook fire, hear the bubble of a cauldron. I try to sit up, but I can't move. My body screams with pain, but the only sound I can manage is a groan. A face appears over me, familiar, though for the moment I cannot place her. I focus all my strength into getting out a single word. Hot. Are you hot? But the doctor said to keep you covered. Hot. Please. With a frown, she removes a few of the covers, but it's not enough. I communicate this effectively with a groan, and reluctantly she obeys. I'm propped up slightly in bed, and I have a full view of my cut-up, bruised and bandaged body. My hands are wrapped, my feet are wrapped. My right arm is in a cast up to my shoulder. I found you this morning on my way home from shopping. Some coincidence, huh? I glare at the woman, trying to place her. She is ordinary looking, with a loose sable-colored braid and freckles splayed across her nose and cheeks. Her eyes stand out. They are pale, the color of wheat, framed delicately by dark lashes. They draw me in and make me a little nervous. Her chest size is unimpressive, but there's something about her fragile collarbone and the hollow of her pale neck that rouses some primal instinct in me, even in this state. Ah yes, now I remember. The street musician. Just yesterday I smashed her guitar, and now she's here, fussing over me like a mother hen. Your right arm was broken in 3 places, and several of the bones in your right hand. The doctor said everything and treated you for hypothermia and frostbite. He says you were fortunate. It was only a mild case, so you should retain all the sense and motion in your fingers and toes. Here. She pulls up a chair and sits beside me, holding a bowl. I made chicken soup. I think to refuse it bad-temperedly, but my stomach roars its protest. I change my mind and start to reach for it, but both of my hands are bandaged. I don't mind feeding you if you want. God, how embarrassing. But my stomach roars again, and I can't argue with it. I accept her offer, and she gives me a spoonful of soup after blowing over it. The flavor is nothing special, but it's got just the right amount of salt, so it's tolerable. Slowly working together, we manage to empty the bowl, and by the end of it I feel I've got just a bit of my strength back. She smiles at me and I look away. Women are all alike, I think, looking out the dark frosted window. Ever since I was little they fawned over me, drawn in by my pretty face. I could do anything I wanted to them and they'd forgive me. This girl is no different. Even after what I did to her yesterday, she still wants to baby me and spoon-feed me. I don't know what happened to you last night, she says softly, but I want you to know you're safe here. I took care of the doctor's bill and didn't send you back to your father on purpose. I knew you'd want to see him again on your own terms, when you were ready. My head whips around sharply at her words. What do you know about my father? And yesterday, too, in the alley, you said my name. Are you some kind of stalker? Please. She makes a face at me. You were young, so you probably don't remember, but I used to work as a maid at Hodgson's estate. I relax a little at her words. A very little. What is it you want from me? I want you to be all right. That's all. You expect me to believe that? What other reason could I possibly have for helping you? Especially after yesterday, she reminds me pointedly. Isn't it because you fell for me in that alleyway? Me? She looks incredulous. Fall for a kid like you? Is that how I seem to her? I don't know why, but it makes me angry. I'm not a kid, I retort. I'm 18. 18 is still a kid, especially to an old woman like me. I look at her a little confused. She looks a bit older than me, but not old. Maybe 20 or 21. Listen, I get it. You're handsome enough, all right. But I used to work at the palace, where I got to see Duke Felix and Prince Claude every day, so I'm not going to just fall for the first pretty boy I see. Think what you like, but I helped you out of my own good will, and I'm willing to continue helping you, for as long as you'll let me. Why? I ask, genuinely baffled. Because Her strange eyes get a faraway sort of look. I wished you could be happy, after all you've been through. I just thought you deserved a bit of kindness. So it's pity. Maybe. I'm sorry if that offends you. It's all right, I answer, and I lean back into the bed. I can't deny I'm in a pretty pitiable position right now. I know how the General is. If he sees you like this, he won't be happy. It's why I waited to send you back. You can forget about sending me back, I say, looking up at the close ceiling. I'm staying here. For how long? I don't know. Maybe forever, I say, and I sigh. Give me a cigarette, will you? To my alarm, she responds by whacking the back of my head. Ow! What do you think you're doing to an injured person? I demand, affronted. I'm ashamed of you, smoking at your age. Don't you know cigarettes are bad for you? What are you, my big sister now? Just go buy me some cigarettes. Forget it. I'm poor enough as it is, and I just spent the last of my money on your doctor bill, she reminds me with a glare. I'm letting you stay with me out of the goodness of my heart, Tristan Hodgson. But if you repay my kindness with a nasty attitude, you're liable to end up back in the snowbank. Got it? Tch, stingy. And I thought you liked me. Ha! Is her sarcastic reply. As if I'd ever fall for a rotten brat like you. I wonder how you feel when you're all alone. When you see the crazy things that you have done. Holding on, I can see the fire